Hello and welcome to Lost Love Chronicles. The Viagra might have been an overkill for a 65-year-old man. It worked a bit too well for the guy. How we call it? He died in the saddle. Or as the French would call it, l'amour d'amour. Dear listeners, today we bring a story of a woman who in the act of cheating on her husband ends up in a very weird situation. Just a word of caution here, the husband here is a comedian, so his way of telling this story might make you laugh when you think it is not good to laugh. Please show your support by hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon, and share your thoughts in the comment section. Now let's get on with the story. My name is Mark. It's not my real name, but this guy on his computer thought it is a good one. I'm a stand-up comedian. My wife, I know her name doesn't matter to you. You just want her measurements. So let me give those measurements to you. She stands at 150 centimeters and weighs around 110 pounds. Nice, round, and smooth. The backside. Yes, you are right. YouTube stops me from saying a lot of words. Yeah, he does. But coming to a melons. Yup, the melons, they're not the ripe ones. They're the small green ones. Yeah, you are the size right. Yeah, we all got that. I could not find a better descriptions of them. Now, coming to the story. Lana and I got married around 2018 after dating for about 2 years. She used to come and watch me act, and she used to sit and drink, and I used to perform. Now, one meeting led to another, and so on. We started dating, and after almost like 2 years, we got married. Things were looking fine. I was doing my old gigs. I used to perform on small parties and a few bars. But then came 2019, and that damn virus. The entire world just shut down, and I was not getting any gigs to perform. The money was tight. Luckily, I had saved some money, and we were living off it. We also did not have any kids. Coming to Lana's family. Lana's father is a former professor in a university. Lana's mother, on the other hand, was a homemaker. She's a devil in the skin, I must say. She always finds faults in me, always berates me, and genuinely does not like me. And I don't like her either. But there's one thing about Lana's mother. She is extremely hot. I made my decision to get married to Lana only and only after I saw my future mother-in-law. You see, my mother-in-law is extremely hot. She has the right measurements, the right curves. She dresses to kill. If somebody looks at her, he would just fall in love with her. She had a very bad voice. But then, I did not marry my mother-in-law. I married Lana. In 2021, when the world opened up again, I saw a big change in Lana. Lana was now outgoing. With outgoing, I mean literally out of the house. She used to come back late. Or I should say early. 7 a.m. in the morning. If it's early or is it late, I don't know what to say. She used to leave for her parties every day around 5 p.m. Used to come back at 7 a.m. in the morning, drunk and wasted. Did I protest? I did. Did I object? I did. What happened? I was called a leash. You see, she told me that I'm just sucking on her blood, not giving her any space, and just living off our saved money. I run the house. I pay the bills. I work hard. But then the money was not enough. I knew it, so I found another job. I started working as a bartender in one of the clubs where I used to perform. Now you see, although there were some doubts of suspicion, but then one fine day, I ended up going through Lana's closet. And what do I find? I find a giant red toy. It was surprising. And what else do I find? I find a packet of rubber. Now, this rubber is something I had never seen before. It had protrusions all over it. You see, like in those Japanese movies, the cartoon Japanese movies, wherein you have tentacles, and then those tentacles have smaller tentacles. That's exactly how it looked like. It just got into my head. I knew it was not mine because, obviously, I had never seen that, never bought that. Why would she have a packet of rubber in her closet? I had no clue. So then, I waited for Lana to come home, and then I told her, I am extremely horny, and I don't have rubber. So Lana, being Lana, tells me, don't worry, honey, I have something for you. And she brings out that tentacles. Well, I did use that tentacle that day on Lana. Man's gotta do what he gotta do to find out the truth. I was trying to find out how it failed with that rubber, so I had to do what I had to do. Don't judge me on this. Once I was done finding out the truth about the rubber, I sat down with my headphones on and I played Never Be the Same by Christopher Cross just to feel sad But unfortunately, the rubber was still in my head. So I left home, I went to my bar. Very next day, I decided I am going to follow Lana and see what she does. She took a leave of absence from my club, and then I followed Lana that day. It was only 15 minutes into my chase that I found Lana was picked up by this rich, old, fat man. How did this guy look like? You all have seen The Simpsons, right? If Fat Tony made love to the comic book guy, we have this guy. Just is real and is more than 350 pounds. Huge, huge guy. So I saw them hopping from one nightclub to the other, finally ending up in a hotel. I followed them to the hotel. I waited in the lobby just to see if they come hand in hand. And yes, they did. They both came hand in hand out from their rooms. They did not see me though, but I could make out that Lana was having trouble walking. All the years of watching Japanese hentai absolutely destroyed my brain cells by now. I don't even know what I was thinking at that very moment. What I did is I went back home and I drove very, very slowly, just feeling the air, trying desperately hard to breathe because my heart was heavy. It is just the feeling that your heart just broke and the pieces of your broken heart are in your stomach. Then I reached home and I saw the rich man's car in my driveway. I was petrified. I was scared. I don't know why, but I was scared. I tiptoed my way inside the house. I saw this giant blob of a man, undressed, without his clothes, standing near my wife and eating a pill. He had the pill and got on top of my wife. I walked out of the house. I know, just like the other stories that we hear on this show, I could have made a video or could have got in, hit this man, and done something wild, but I did not. This is the canon event, you see. This had to happen. I had to get out of the house. Otherwise, the story doesn't make sense. So I got out of the house, walked away, sat in a park, and let air come into my lungs. Very next day, I decided I'm going to expose Lana. You see, like all the other AI-generated Reddit revenge stories, I planned to expose Lana, either on family's vacation, or on a Christmas, or on her birthday. Or maybe the comic launch we did a few videos ago. So I installed cameras all over the house, especially in my bedroom, and connected it with my phone. I could see what is happening in my house in my phone. Did not take that long. A very next day, the guy walks into my house with Lana. What happens next is absolutely wild. You see, what happened is, what I saw is this guy walk in. He puts in 2 pills in his mouth, handcuffs Lana to the bedpost, and then gets on top of her, positions himself right between her legs, and then just collapses on Lana. Yes, he died. When I saw that, I had no clue what to do. I could not decide whether I should call 911 or I should just shut down the phone and sleep over it. But then I decided to call 911. The operator picked up and said, "Hello, this is the emergency department. How can I help you?" I told her my wife is stuck under a guy. She sounded surprised. I explained her that she's stuck under a dead body, but then she was even more surprised. So finally I had to explain to her that my wife was trying to have sex with a guy and he died on top of her and she's stuck. I heard a very elongated silence. I knew that she was laughing. Yep, I know she was laughing at that very moment. She said, "I'm sending you up to your home." I said, "All right, thank you so much." And I hung up the phone and drove to my house. By the time I reached home, I saw 5 ambulances parked in front of my house. There were an N number of cop cars. In all, I saw 100 people standing in front of my house, and I could see this fat man being dragged out of my house on a stretcher. I felt sorry for the guy, but then not really. I went in, and what I saw was, again, very hilarious. People were trying to cut off the handcuffs off Lana. Just as Lana saw me standing there, she started crying. And she just screamed, "It's not how it seemed. It's not how it seemed." I just held up my hand and said, "Save it." They took Lana to the hospital because she had some injuries on her ribs. The next day I went to the hospital and met Lana. I told her, "I don't trust you anymore, and we should get divorced." She started crying and said, "No, it's not how it is." I showed her the video. I told her, "I have been suspecting you for a long time now. You have been breaking my trust. You brought a man into my bed." She started crying and apologizing, but then I told her, "No, it's not happening. We are not going to stay together anymore." She started crying and sobbing and everything. I just wanted to punch her in the face. I knew it was going to be difficult to get a divorce from this woman, but then a light bulb just went up in my brain, and I told Lana, "See, Lana, you and I have a broken relationship. Let us try and build it again from scratch." No, with scratch, I mean you and I both single, unmarried. And for that, let us get divorced. And then let us start dating each other again. Lana agreed. So we filed the divorce papers, and in the meanwhile, Lana kept visiting me almost every day. And yes, I did finish off that packet of Forever on Lana. Don't judge me for that. A man's gotta do what he's gotta do. A man has needs, and she was a willing partner. Yes, she was. And I was too. I divorce got finalized in a few months. I did not have to pay any alimony. There was no settlement, because everything was already finalized before we put in those papers. So I ended up losing nothing. Now, coming back to what happened next, I ghosted her. I left town and I disappeared off the radar. I now live in a different country under a different name, although my passport says my original name, but I have not told any of my friends where I am because I fear that Lana might come looking after me. I've built up a new career here. I now work at a local bar as a manager. I take care of the entire operations of the bar. I'm happy with my life. I do have a few women who come and often visit me. Life is good. I know this is not a lifestyle that I wanted for myself, but then maybe a few years down the line, I will end up on the right track and I eventually might find love and get married again. Until next time, have a nice day and do share your thoughts in the comment section. Bye. Dear listener, if you have reached this far, please click on the subscribe button. It will be a great help.